South Dakota is moving on to the FCS Quarterfinals. That thanks to a 34-24 second-round win over Sacramento State on Saturday. Here to talk about that is head coach Bob Nielson. And Coach, there was some adversity right at the start of this game. A big loss defensively as Shahid Barros goes down on the very first possession of the game. Certainly the type of thing that can let some wind out of the sails, but we found out pretty quickly how your defense was going to respond to that.
Yeah, great response defensively. Really the defense dominated that first quarter with not just that first 3 and out, but then, forcing 2 turnovers and one of those turnovers resulting in a defensive score. And, big loss with Shahid, but just like we have all year when we've asked people to step up in those roles, we've had people step up, and Caleb McKenzie and Dom Reeves did a good job filling in for Shahid on the day.
Yeah, both of those guys stepped up, made some big plays at different times throughout this game. And but you mentioned the 2 turnovers. That's really what swung this thing. It was a 3-0 game, and then you get the interception from JoJo Gaines, take that in for a score, and then, of course, the scoop and score from Mikeese Grace, and it's 17-0 just like that early in the second quarter.
Yeah, to separate that game, be more than 2 scores ahead, puts you in a really good position where, number one, they have to force things offensively, and number two, where you can even start working the clock and work on controlling the football. And the one thing that we did a good job is when Sac State came back, we were always able to answer and keep that 2-score lead throughout the game.
Yeah, they got that first touchdown to make it 17-7, and then right away, a couple plays into the next drive, Aiden Bauman to J.J. Galbraith, and he goes 75 yards. Had to lumber a little bit to get there. He's not quite right health-wise, but got the job done. And that was, as you said, a big response to their first score. Kind of killed any momentum they might have gotten.
Yeah, that momentum play, was huge. And JJ was battling a little bit of an injury, but had enough in the tank to get all the way to the end zone. And the disappointing thing was the fumble right before half, because we were moving the ball really well there. If we would have put some points on the board in that possession, and instead of allowing them that possession right before half, I think the second half might have been a lot different. But really proud of the way our guys took that little piece of adversity too right before half and came out and dominated play in the second half.
Yeah, and of course the running game had a lot to do with that. I'm sure looking at this matchup based on what North Dakota was able to do against Sac State, you were seeing opportunity for that ground game to really get established on the day, and it certainly did. 194 yards in total. Lost some at the end with the victory formation, but still averaged nearly about 5 yards a carry. Charles Pierre was tremendous, 13 carries, 123 yards. Coming off injury, that had to be good to see.
Good to get Charles back. He had a couple of big runs that added to his total. But I thought he and Travis and Nate Thomas, too, added some good carries. We're very consistent. We found a couple of schemes that were good against their movement defensively and hung our hat on those in the second half when our run game was more consistent.
Yeah, bottom line is I think we saw one of the themes that we've seen all year from your football team, and that is complementary football. All 3 phases contributing in one way or another on Saturday, and it came at a great time, get you a postseason win.
Yeah, great defense. Offensively, we kept enough pressure on them defensively, had a couple of good drives in the second half when we needed them, and our kicking game was solid all day. The kinds of things that we've consistently been doing as a football team, and one of the reasons why we've been consistently winning.
All right. Win there means you're an FCS quarterfinals for the first time in program history. And I know that's something that, we talked a little bit about that after the game on Saturday is, I know you don't want to get caught up too much in the moment because there's so much left you want to do. But at the same time, I would imagine you have to take some opportunity to soak in what has been done to this point. And the FCS quarterfinals is just another step in the right direction for what you guys want to accomplish as a program.
That's what's been really interesting with this group. They've accomplished a lot, and I genuinely believe that they understand that, but there's not a lot of satisfaction yet. They realize that there's more ahead, and that the road is still going, and we've got a destination that we want to get to, and the great thing is we get another stop in the Dome this week.
Yeah, that next stop coming up Saturday against North Dakota State, a team you're very familiar with. and a team that you did beat earlier this season. And that game doesn't mean a whole lot in terms of what this particular matchup is, because it did happen such a long time ago, and both teams have changed pretty dramatically. But at the same time, that win is a big part of why you're in the situation you're in, and that's having the right to host this game.
Was a big win, but you're exactly right. It's so early in the year. Teams are different. They're different in the fact that they've improved. They're doing things better. North Dakota State's played great football the second half of their schedule, and the tremendous win out at Montana State. So they're going to come in here with a lot of momentum. But our team has a lot of momentum too with the way that we've played, and excited to have our fans get to experience this level of a contest. And we're playing one of the top programs, if not the top, FCS program in the country, and we've got them right here in the Dome.
That game coming up Saturday afternoon at 1:30 Central Time, and it's going to be televised nationally on ABC Network TV coming in here to the Dakota Dome on Saturday. So that's exciting. We'll dive a little deeper into that matchup with the Bison coming up later this week.